So now that we've looked at the strategy, then people, now the next is processes. So I think three main angles when you look at what you can do with the processes when you look at digitizing them or looking at a digital journey. First is data digitization and accessibility. So what do I mean by this is we kind of generate data at almost every function at every point. As long as we can ensure that all of these data points or all of this data goes back into in some format, it gets digitized and is stored somewhere. At a later point, we can always look at integrating all of these points together. So for example, one example could be customer feedback. Today we collect customer feedback over a phone call, or you might go in a sales or a customer meeting, servicing meeting, and there's a lot of feedback that comes in, and there's no way that we document this. Just moving this from a simple feedback and moving these MOMs from email or minutes of meeting from a email to some format where this gets documented, the learnings get documented, and the team is kind of pushed to write this down after every meeting or after every week. Some reflection, putting all of this data back into some format can help us kind of over a period of time understand. So you could use, so customer feedback can be digitized using softwares like a Survey Monkey, again, where you send surveys over a WhatsApp or over a email and you collect it. It gives you an NPS score. It helps you track different sentiments. You can over a period of time see how your customers are moving as well. Especially when you're working with at scale, like for us at Kylas or for us at Sell.do, when you're talking to say 600 to 1,000 customers in one go, it always helps that you collect this feedback in a more digitized way so that it's easier to analyze and is accessible to everyone. And one more easier example is something that in a personal life, if you want to get more health, if you want to get healthier, without data, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to take any decisions. So should I, what kind of food I should eat, or am I exercising enough? There's no way you can actually define or change course if you have no input on what's going on. So tracking your weight every day, taking a note of input calories or how much exercise you're doing every day. All of this kind of just helps you understand where you're going with your health. The more data is going to help you improve on your entire process. And that's what we are saying out here. And the last is to make it accessible. So if you can combine this data and make it more easily available to your internal team, so breaking silos. So your sales data should also be available to your marketing teams. It should also be available to your servicing teams. Or say there are escalations happening in your services side. If this data is made available to your sales team, they know what to sell or how to sell, or what expectations to set with customers right when they make the first sell. So the more data and the more available it is, it's just going to improve overall the way your business starts. Second is automating most of these processes. So once you have, of course, when you have done your gap analysis, once you have digitized your data, the next is to kind of go and automate it. And again, there are out-of-the-box solutions available out there. So we spend a lot of time in HR or customer onboarding. Again, customer onboarding is probably the first touch point and the first 30 days of when the customer kind of experiences your brand or your company. So whether for us at Kylas, it's or at Sell.do, it's the first 15 days or the first 30 days when you're onboarding the customer. Most important time. Once they kind of understand the platform and they start using it, they don't need that much of hand-holding from our side. So what tools or what processes of this can be automated? So we have used and we have got examples of it later on, but we use ClickUp internally to kind of track the entire customer onboarding. We have a standardized template for what tasks have to be done, what scripts have to be spoken. We've got a onboarding tool in a user pilot which runs within Kylas. So customers can do a self-help, but from a customer success angle, the team also understands where the customer is, what part of it is already being completed as a self implementation phase, and where they need to be getting involved during the onboarding process. If you're looking at a B2B scenario where you're servicing customers, automating your daily reports or your monthly reports. We've seen this as one of the most important things that a lot of services industry. So if you're doing, say you're an IT consulting company, you want to share information about where the project is, how much effort was done, how many hours of effort has been put in. or if you're a marketing company, you want to look at reports in terms of what's your ROI, how much, where we are versus target versus achieved, combining data from sales. So all of this takes a lot of time, and this is a low hanging fruit. So if you can understand through your gap analysis where your time is going into, which processes are eating into a lot of, and which are being repeated every day. So it's probably 30% of your work which the team is doing, or probably 40 or 50% of your team is just engaged in doing the same work. We can go and automate, or you can go and automate that, and there are a lot of tools available out there. You can also have an angle of QA. It might not improve your efficiency, but it might help you improve the service quality for customers. So looking at what can be automated easily, what needs to be automated is something that you can look at. When you look at e-commerce, so your delivery tracking, sharing these delivery updates over a WhatsApp directly to a customer, you don't need any kind of a customer success rep available for to kind of track these updates and share it with the customers. All of that can be automated. With customer success, you can always use bots. So can you use a bot on your website? Can you use a bot to kind of direct the person to certain information which is available in your knowledge hub? So all of this is where you can look at automating, and not all of it is important on day one. Not all of it will yield results in the same at the same level. So it's important that you understand from a gap analysis where you invest time and money. Last is data-driven decisions. This is more of it's a thought process and more of a cultural change for everyone. So once you have kind of created data, brought it into a digital format, automated processes, it's now important that you kind of ensure that you start tracking the full funnel, and any and every decision is now data-driven. So any member bringing in a new idea or asking or taking a decision, as long as it is being backed by data, that's the kind of condition that you have to set with your team, that you can take decisions on your own, but as long as they are backed by data, as a leadership or as management, we are going to back you. So tracking full funnel, and when I say full funnel, that's the entire customer funnel, right from advertising to being advocates and ensuring repeat revenue for you. You track that full funnel. You ensure that your financials are also getting tracked. So linking your strategic experiments, I think Vikram had covered this in his initial session that he had done, where how do you look at smaller experiments, growth experiments, and ensure that your strategy, the execution of it, and very importantly, your finance data are connected. So decisions have to be based on all three. You have to be more profitable, and you have to also ensure that your cash flows are tied into all of this. And then creating processes where decisions are based on data and they are being prioritized. So anytime someone comes up, like I said, with an idea or something, if they back it up with data, I think as leaders we have to go and ensure that we support and back them. That's about transformation, about your processes and how your entire automation will